Now we're going to put the band we spoke of before above your knees. So you can sit in your chair. Band goes above the knees. Okay. All right, so now we can do what we call plie squats. Again, plie squats, you point the toes out a little bit, bands above the knees, shoulders back. This is going to work the hip abductors, okay? Straight down, shoulders back, look straight. Squats, a subtle squat, not too far, come back up. Now, back in week 10, if you remember, we did the toe raises, okay? You can add the toe raises here. So plie, toe raise, plie, toe raise. That's going to work the anterior tibialis of the shin, helps to minimize shin splints, okay? Again, that's back from week 10 if you want to go back and look at that again, okay? So again, 20 reps on the plie. Now we can go to chair squats. Okay, we did these back in week 2 without the band. Now the reason we're using the band today, from a knee rehabilitation standpoint, if anybody had an anterior cruciate ligament reconstruction like myself, the bands are very good to make the knees stay straight or pointed out, okay? So that's what they are for. ACL surgery, total knee replacement, medial meniscus tear, lateral meniscus tear. You want to have those bands above the knees from a rehabilitation standpoint to make sure those knees don't come in. So toes are going to be forward, knees behind, like we talked about before. Arms straight out to the sides or on the hips. Straight down, you're going to tap and come back up. Inhale down, exhale up, okay? Knees behind the toes, you tap the chair, come right back up. 20 reps on each. Now, another one you can do with the bands is we bring the bands below the knees, above the ankles. These are going to be called sidewalks, okay? These are, again, working the hip abductors like we did on the floor. Arms on the hips, back straight, slight bend in the knees, sidewalks, okay? Make sure your feet stay straight, toes are parallel. Now, depending on how big your house is, how much room you have in your hallway, you could do 10, 15, 20 to the right, 10, 15, 20 to the left, okay? Again, you can add a calf raise, okay? 20 calf raises going right. Work the gastrocnemius and the soleus muscle we talked about, or you can also do, those toe raises again, okay? Anterior tibialis. In addition, you can also add a squat to it. So it'd be a squat toe raise, okay? So 20 of those. Depending on how big your hallway is. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the lower part of the leg. This is our pro stretch. Okay, the way this works, it's a great modality we have at Revive. You can take your chair, or else you have a couch for your balance. Okay, this is going to work plantar flexion, dorsiflexion. Plantar flexion means you go down, dorsiflexion goes up. Working the anterior tibialis, this is going to stretch the anterior tibialis to prevent those shin splints we talked about. Also going to stretch the gastrocnemius and soleus. Very important for overall leg flexibility when you are trying to rehabilitate from a knee surgery or knee injury. So come up here like this. Shoulders are back. Make sure the heels are tight into the pro stretch. Back straight. You're going to go forward for 2, backwards for 2. Forward for 2, backwards for 2. Okay? Great modality, great stretch. Great for sprinters, marathon runners to loosen up before the races. Okay? All athletes actually could benefit from this. Okay, then what you want to do is you want to stretch those calf muscles, okay? So again, you can use your chair, you can use a couch, back straight. Right foot forward, make sure the left heel stays flat onto the floor. That's called a closed chain movement. We talked about that in the past. Back straight, stretch that left calf, okay? 25-second to 30-second hold. switch sides, okay? Same thing, and then again, if you wanted to add one more, you could do both, okay? In regards to the stretching, you can bring your step out. Okay, again, this is the step we've used before in previous videos that we have at Revive. You can use your chair for balance. Okay, so a very good calf stretch is to go off the step. So it's a little hard to see that from there. So you can do this in your house with your stairs. Okay, or if you have a stool, you bring it around. Good stretch. Okay, left foot goes down. You can also do calf raises on here. Okay, make sure the calf goes below the step of the stool. 20 reps, switching sides. Okay, and again, this chair you can use for balance so you don't fall. And those are good calf stretches and calf raises off the step. Okay, so step ups, another very important component with knee rehabilitation. We did these back in week 1, regular step ups. Okay, 20 each side. Step up with the knee raise. Okay, we've talked about this before. 20 on each side. Side step, knee raise more advanced, or just side steps to start. So adding the knee is the advancement, okay? You can also do the crossover. We talked about this before, okay? Crossing over works the hip abductors, okay? So basically that's everything with the knee rehabilitation. I just want to talk to you really quick about ice. If you do have any injuries, okay? Using ice is very important if your knee swells up, if your knee is stiff, okay? If there's any soreness, okay? Remember the acronym RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation. If you do have a knee injury, or like I just said, it swells up, or it's aggravating you and there's pain and stiffness, you want to lie on your back on a couch. Put 2 pillows under your feet, so when you lie supine, your leg is above your heart. That's the trick. When your leg is above the heart, you'll get the effects of the ice better. Okay, so what you would do is you would do 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off. Do that sequence twice, okay? Try to do that sequence in the morning, afternoon, and evening if possible, okay? That protocol you want to do for 48 hours. Then you would do the exact same protocol with heat, okay? 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off, that's 1. 20 on, 20 off, 20 on, 20 off, that's 2. Do that morning, afternoon, evening, 48 hours, then go to heat, okay? If you do have any questions about that, you can just email me, revivetraining@yahoo.com. We have a website, revivepersonaltraining.com. This is our week 12 of our videos. So you can go on YouTube to our YouTube channel if you want to see any of the 12 weeks. Revive Personal Sports Training DSW. And the last thing for today, just remember the acronym TEAM, total effort, all members. Together, everyone accomplishes more. And also the acronym PUSH, persistence. Persistence succeeds more. Pushing, I forgot the U. Anyway, have a great night. I'll get back to you on that one next time. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye.